Well, hello, it's Travis with C3 Project Pros, and this is an important subject, and it's how to engage with a subcontractor. The three pillars of the C3 way are time, money, and team. So the team piece is how to engage with a subcontractor. So we're going to talk about that. So that's the talk tonight, how to engage with a sub. Again, my name is Travis Shore with C3 Project Pros. And in 1995, I started my own construction business where we did all kinds of stuff: additions, flips, remodels, new construction, high end custom, historical renovations, so on and so forth. And I do focus on three pillars. I've done that my entire career: is time, money, team. And I think that that might come back to collapsing time and having a system from my time in the military. I mean, really, it's like, I'm third generation. My grandpa was pretty fastidious about decency and everything in decency and order, he used to say. Anyway, enough about me. So let's going to get on with this. So where to begin? First of all, why is it so hard to find a sub now? And I can tell you that it's going to get scarier and scarier as time goes on. So let's get into it. Number one, you're an unknown. You're not. This is a relationship game, but I'm gonna. The purpose of this talk is to teach you how to overcome that first objection of I don't know you. The one preconceived notion that people have about homeowners, especially homeowners managing their own project, is you're not prepared, you don't understand the process, you don't know how to hold a schedule, and you can't hold a budget. And typically, there's a lot of callbacks because you're not ready. Now, let's talk about labor trends. As of 2020, for of the five main trades, and that's mechanical, electrical, plumbing, carpentry, and welding, those are the top five. For every 50 people leaving, there's only seven coming in. And what I mean by that is they're not leaving just because they're getting high tech jobs. They're talking about guys like me that are aging out, which by definition, I'm a master carpenter, and I'm not. I don't do it much anymore. It's just I'm getting too old. Anyway, and so with that, with the 50 leaving, seven coming in, what we're losing right now is an incredible amount across all spectrums, an incredible amount of institutional knowledge, and it's creating a massive gap in skills. So if it's not plug and play, it's getting more and more difficulty to find good quality people. But that's why you're here. I'm going to help you figure that out. So, what are these things to tell us? Supply and demand, and you got to be prepared. So, obviously, if there's a bunch of construction work going on and you've got this big gap of knowledge and gap of skills and, frankly, gap of labor, well, supply is going to be up, labor and demand. Supply is going to be down, and demand is going to be up. So, it just translates to it's going to be way more expensive for you and harder to obtain a sub. So you have to be prepared with your planning and products and your procedures. And so that's what I'm here to help you with. So how do you engage? The top four: introduce yourself, give project description, provide estimated time frame, and let them know you're going to establish a long-term relationship. And let's break that down into a real conversation. Pick a sub. I was talking to a guy the other day about this, and it's like, okay, say you need to hire a plumber for whatever you're going to do on your flip. How do you think it would go? It's like, hey, I'm Travis. I've got this maybe project coming up, this flip I'm going to do. Not quite sure. I think I'm going to do a bathroom, maybe swap out the, appliances and the sink in the kitchen. I really don't know. Going to buy this thing here shortly, and we're going to get after it. So do you think you want to give me a price? You're going to get nowhere with that. It's going to be like, yeah, Jack, call me back when you've got your stuff together. Instead, if you go through my program and I have a pre-construction planning phase where you're fully prepared for the conversation. So now imagine if you were a plumber and I can tell you how to find him and how to even get him on the phone. Now imagine you're a plumber, you receive my call and say, hey, my name is Travis. I've got a project coming up in a month and a half. I'm doing a kitchen and a bathroom. I've already got my products picked out at the supply house. I got your name from them as a referral. And what I'm looking at it, based on what I've talked to, it looks like I might need you for a couple days of rough in and one day of trim out. And I'm anticipating that spread to be about 6 weeks apart. I'm also looking at getting in this flipping business as a full-time gig and would like to really establish some relationships with some known trusted people that have been referred and establish that long-term relationship. Will that work for you? And if it doesn't, do you have another trade friend that you could, refer me to? So the difference is you're coming into it, establishing a relationship, building up rapport, letting them know where you got them from, letting them know you're prepared, that you've you've questioned how long it's going to take, how long you need them for, and then of course that you've got your products picked. So it's all, there's not much guesswork involved in this. They know you're ready to go, and you're taking your own project very serious versus maybe sort of kind of. So now that you've gotten that part, you're bringing your specified list to the initial walkthrough. You've invited them over now, and they've looked at it. You're going to discuss communication details. Are they the one that you're going to see on site, or do they have a foreman that you should be talking to? You're going to discuss how you're going to pay them, especially on a project like this. They're probably going to want to get paid 60% of their bid or so after they do their initial rough-in, but I would say if you're doing that, it'd be at rough-in inspection. And then collaboration, you're going to let them be the expert, meaning ask them questions, see if they have any advice for how you're handling the project, what the flow is going to look like, the scheduling timing that you talked about, so you can adjust your schedule. Maybe they have some trade friends that they like to work with, maybe an electrician or your mechanical guy. We'll get into all that at another time. But really, you're going to go, how do I communicate with you? Is my schedule on? Do you have any advice for me? And then how would you like to get paid? Just lets them know you're really setting yourself up for success and a long-term relationship instead of them chasing you around. Once they're on your team, you're going to provide a clear and detailed contract, or you're going to sign their proposal. On the back of their proposal is contract language, so you can make sure you read that thoroughly and strike any language and initial with stuff you don't that you don't approve of, don't like, and certainly you can have your attorneys or whoever review that, and just to make sure, because if they've written it, of course it's in their favor, and vice versa. If you've written it, it's in your favor. But just be clear that you're getting specific dates, times, payment structures, all that in your contract. And then, of course, you're going to do a final update on your budget and schedule based on all the information you got to them. You'll have a revised bid. You'll by then have known what their timing is going to be, so you can adjust your schedule and set up your trim time as soon as you get them in your schedule, so they know that in 6 weeks, whatever the number is, that you're going to be ready for them to come back and get that trim out done in a timely manner. So once your project is kicked off, not just the time when you need them there, let them know. It's like, hey, my kickoff date was on time. I still anticipate, my rough-in, my demo, my framing, all the stuff that needs to happen, going to be ready for you by this date. And, and then the weeks leading up to it, the week prior, call them. 2 days prior, call them, make sure, hey, I'm still on board. Are you still showing up? And then pay exactly as you promised. Do not deviate from that at all. Just lets them know that, you're going to be somebody that he can count on, rely on, and do that know, like, and trust, earned respect of your business and ongoing relationship. At the completion of your project, you're going to make sure you sign off on all completed work, and get all your final inspections. If there are callbacks, regardless of whose fault it is, like say you're missing a faucet, whatever the situation is, regardless, only withhold 150% of the outstanding work. And the reason I say that number is literally for if for some reason he can't come back, that allows you enough retainage to hire somebody to come in and finish that particular portion. But holding anything more in excess of that is just not fair to them, and it will leave a bad taste in your mouth, and the likelihood of them coming back is pretty remote. But you're going to do yourself favors by just being prepared and having all your product. I order it all even prior to commencement, just like everything's coming, everything's ordered, everything's good. And then, after it's all done, ask for their feedback. How did I do? Did I communicate well? Was the system, was the process, was it acceptable to your schedule? Did anything I can do to improve, to make sure that we're more streamlined in the future? And again, stuff like that just really builds that trust and rapport. Let them know that you're somebody that he can count on for good communication, good schedule, good follow-up, good pay structure, all that. And that's how you really establish that ongoing relationship. So a successful engagement with a sub requires these 4 things: effective communication, which I think we're beating that in the ground; clear expectations, you're setting up your scope, your standards, what you expect; easy project closeout. We don't need to we don't need to create a mess out of nothing. And then the commitment of you fostering a beneficial relationship going forward is really about the collaboration and taking them as a professional, and and implementing things that you might see valuable with their communication and their recommendations for your system and flow. So here's my flow code. Simply scan that. You can book a call with me. Again, I'm Travis at c3projectpros.com, and my email is travis at c3projectpros.com. I look forward to answering your questions, and I certainly hope you find this helpful. And I appreciate you for checking it out. Have a good day.